Welcome back to another episode of the Lingo Lab, your workshop for English excellence, and today we're diving into a fascinating topic, why first impressions matter, where language meets intellect. I'm Sophia, your host, and together we'll explore the psychology behind first impressions while enriching your vocabulary with advanced expressions, idioms, and phrasal verbs. Let's get started.
And I'm your co-host Alex, and today we're diving deep into the psychology of first impressions.
Have you ever wondered why you instantly like or dislike someone? Well, research suggests that within the blink of an eye, or precisely 7 seconds, we make up our minds about a person. That's a snap judgment, often driven by subconscious cues rather than rational thought.
The 7-second rule is a popular heuristic, suggesting that initial impressions are formed rapidly. However, research indicates that these judgments occur even more swiftly.
True, studies have demonstrated that individuals can assess traits like trustworthiness and competence within a mere 100 milliseconds of seeing a face. This rapid evaluation underscores our brain's efficiency in processing social cues, a mechanism rooted in evolutionary survival strategies.
That's right, and here's an intriguing concept: thin slicing. Coined by psychologist Malcolm Gladwell, it refers to our ability to make quick judgments with minimal information. It's part of our evolutionary hardwiring, a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors decide if a stranger was a threat or an ally.
Let's dissect this phenomenon. The brain processes microexpressions almost instantaneously. Microexpressions refer to fleeting facial expressions. This means that even if someone tries to mask their true feelings, their face may betray them for a fraction of a second. Dr. Paul Ekman, a pioneer in this field, found that these expressions reveal true emotions despite what a person is saying.
Exactly. That's why someone who puts on a facade, by that I mean tries to fake confidence, might still give away nervousness through telltale signs, which refers to an outward indication or clue that reveals something, often something hidden or intended to be kept secret. These are subtle but revealing clues, like a slight eyebrow twitch or a forced smile that expose what they're truly feeling despite their attempt to hide it.
And speaking of deception, here's a phrasal verb for you: to see through someone. It means to detect insincerity or dishonesty. For example, despite his charm, I could see through him.
Great example. And let's introduce another term: halo effect. This is when our first impression of one trait, say attractiveness, influences our entire perception of a person. In other words, if someone appears well-groomed and polished, we might subconsciously assume they are also intelligent, competent, or trustworthy, even if there's no real evidence to support that assumption.
Nonverbal communication is key. In fact, research by Albert Mehrabian suggests that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone, and only 7% is actual words. So, if you're trying to make a lasting impression, your posture, gestures, and eye contact carry more weight than what you say.
Precisely. Let's break down some key nonverbal cues. 1. Open posture, arms uncrossed, shoulders relaxed. This signals confidence and approachability. 2. Firm handshake. Not a bone crusher, but certainly not limp. A weak handshake can make someone seem indecisive. 3. Mirroring. Subtly mimicking the other person's body language creates rapport and shows engagement. 4. Steady eye contact. Not a staring contest, but enough to show confidence.
And here's a useful idiom: actions speak louder than words. It means that what you do carries more weight than what you say. If someone says, "I'm confident," but fidgets nervously, their actions contradict their words.
Now, let's address perception bias. This is when our brains make assumptions based on stereotypes or past experiences, rather than objective reality. For instance, confirmation bias makes us interpret new information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. For example, if someone reminds you of a friendly teacher from school, you might warm up to them instantly. Warm up to someone is a phrasal verb, meaning to gradually start liking someone.
That's right. And implicit bias happens when we subconsciously judge people based on appearance, accent, or even job title. A classic example: people often assume someone in a tailored suit is more competent than someone in casual attire, even if their skills are identical.
And that brings us to another phrase: don't judge a book by its cover. It's a reminder to look beyond appearances.
Now that we understand psychology, let's talk about strategy. How can we put our best foot forward? That is, how can we present ourselves as positively and confidently as possible to make a strong first impression.
First, dress appropriately for the context. Whether it's a job interview or a first date, dressing the part means choosing an outfit that fits the occasion and conveys the right message. It's about matching your appearance to the setting, like wearing a suit to a business meeting to show professionalism, or opting for smart casual on a first date to appear put together yet approachable. It signals that you understand the situation and have made an effort to present yourself well.
Second, be mindful of your voice. A steady, well-paced tone conveys confidence. Speaking off the cuff or without preparation can sometimes backfire if you ramble.
Another tip, be an active listener. Engage by nodding, paraphrasing, and asking follow-up questions. This shows you're on the same wavelength as the other person. The idiom "on the same wavelength" signifies that two or more people are thinking or acting similarly, and they understand each other easily.
And finally, exude warmth and authenticity. That means genuinely expressing friendliness and sincerity in a way that feels natural. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel appreciated and respected. When you smile, maintain good eye contact, and engage in meaningful conversation, you create a sense of connection that leaves a lasting positive impression.
So, to wrap up, first impressions are a mix of psychology, biology, and social dynamics. While we can't always control how people perceive us, we can tip the scales in our favor by being intentional with our words, body language, and energy. Tip the scales is an idiom that suggests a slight shift or change in the balance of a situation.
Well said, Alex. And to our listeners, next time you meet someone new, be mindful of the signals you send and receive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making great first impressions.